And it's not just women's rights. The US Supreme Court, in fact, is setting new records for bad judgments, it seems. This week, they heard another major case. Do Americans have the right to carry their guns in public? That was the debate. Can you carry your gun in public in the US? You see, American states have different gun laws. Half of them permit citizens to carry guns in public, no questions asked. The other half has set conditions. You must prove why you're carrying a gun in public. Lawyers call this probable cause. New York belongs to the second set of states. They require probable cause to carry firearms. You should have a good reason to carry a gun. But some gun owners protested. They wanted to remove all checks on carrying guns. And on Thursday, the court announced its decision. At this point, it's not even a surprise. The US Supreme Court sided with the gun owners. They struck down New York's law, which means residents can carry their guns in public, in parks, in restaurants, at concerts, anywhere they want to. They do not have to give any reason for carrying a firearm. And this ruling could open the floodgates too. Gun owners in the US, in other US states, can make similar challenges. And needless to say, the result will be the same. Do you know what this means? It means America is back to the drawing board. Each state must draft new gun laws. They must strengthen background checks. They must reduce the buying age. Basically, they will have to start from scratch. And don't forget the residents of New York. This ruling has left them feeling vulnerable and helpless.
It's dangerous. I mean, I'm a native New Yorker. I always felt safe knowing, not that they were necessarily hidden, but I just felt safer before.
I think they're a little bit deaf to what's going on in the world right now. It used to be that Supreme Court decisions came out and they had people who just thought about what the law was.
He's right. The US Supreme Court is wrong on most issues of our times. They're anti-abortion. They're pro-guns. What explains this tone-deaf attitude? Their politics. You see, US Supreme Court judges are appointed by the sitting president. It has always been a political affair. The Republicans nominate conservatives, the Democrats nominate moderates. Right now, the court has a conservative majority. Out of the 9 judges of the Supreme Court, 3 are liberal, 1 is moderate, and 5 are conservative. Thursday's judgment was passed by a 6-3 majority, just like today's. So the judiciary has clearly given up. What about the politicians? They still have the power to make new laws, whether on abortion or gun control or gay rights. On all of these issues, the politicians have the final say. President Joe Biden has reacted to the court's verdict, the Thursday verdict on gun laws. He's called it a bad decision. Listen to this.
I am disappointed in the Supreme Court gun decision. Not good enough, but I think it's a bad decision. I think it's not reasoned accurately, but I'm disappointed.
Once he's right, it is a bad decision. The question is, what does he plan to do about it? As president, Joe Biden has a lot of powers. He can drive legislative action. He can issue executive orders. Until now, he has been reluctant to do any of that. But the recent school shooting in Texas has pushed him to act. Biden has finally struck a bipartisan deal on guns. The Senate passed it on Thursday. And once the House clears it, Biden can sign it into law. Some are calling it the first major gun legislation in decades. But look at what it cost. The lives of 19 innocent children and 2 teachers. Can this law prevent a repeat of that Texas tragedy? To be honest, there is no guarantee. This law provides millions of dollars for mental health, for school safety, for crisis intervention programs. It also urges states to include juvenile records in background checks. But the biggest reform is this one, the so-called boyfriend loophole. It has been shut. What is the boyfriend loophole? Until now, only spouses accused of domestic violence were stopped from buying guns, not boyfriends. Even if the boyfriend is accused of violence, he could still buy guns. Hence the name, the boyfriend loophole. Now, this law puts an end to that. On the face of it, these are all good reforms, but considering the scale of the problem, they're not enough. The US needs even stronger gun safety laws, even stronger background checks, and most importantly, a principled Supreme Court. Laws are meant to protect people, not to harass them. Unfortunately, that is what the American top court is doing. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.